morning, and welcome to our UUHoulotn service Sunday online edition from the Unitarian Parlor of the Houlton Unitarian Church in Maine. We are Leigh and Fred Griffith, although I'm only half of that, as most of you would know. We're today's lay leaders as we give Reverend Dave a break. After all, he still has the Christmas Eve service to lead. This service will be a little bit different than normal, not only because we're leading it instead of Reverend Dave, but because we have the rare opportunity to combine a fourth Sunday of Advent with this year's Winter Solstice ceremony. We have music from the Unitunes, as well as harp music by Reverend UUHoulotn and Leigh Griffith. Thank you for joining us during this holiday season and spending part of your day right here. For those of you who may want to participate in the service, because this will be an interactive service, we invite you to find a candle holder, something to sit it in, and something to light it with, a lighter, match, flint and steel, whatever you have handy. We're going to start today by lighting our chalice. Today we light the chalice for the coming longer days, shorter nights, and in return of the sun. Yes. Sol Invictus. We'll also be lighting the fourth candle of our Advent wreath. The first candle was for contemplation. Make sure I'm reading it right. The second was for connection. One of the things we are trying to do with these online services. The third was for affirmation. Today's service is for anticipation. We are looking forward with hope and joy, anticipating better days to come. Today we're also sharing ways of celebrating the solstice past and present, and this is where your candle will come in handy. Inspired by Reverend Dave, we thought we would share with you an ornament or two from our own Yule tree. It was awfully difficult to decide which ornament to show because we have very few that are duplicates. We try to buy one new ornament or make one new ornament every year that represented something about that year to us. Consequently, almost every one of our ornaments also has its own story. One tradition that we liked while I was stationed over in Germany was their tradition of putting real candles on their Yule trees. In fact, we even bought a set of candles and candle holders designed for use on trees. Vanna, would you show them what that looks like?
Well, this is what the boxes look like, and I don't know, can you zoom in on this?
All right, you can hold still right there.
These clamp right onto the branches and hold the candle upright until it eventually tips over.
Like so.
We went ahead and bought those and have put them on our tree every year since that time. However, we have this fear of fire, so we went ahead and clipped the tops off, the wicks, clipped the wicks off of each of the candles to help reduce temptation. Let's see. And Leigh is showing how it sits normally on the tree. The first year we were living in Maine, we had an old cabin, the wood stove had a big crack in it, and so we were really cautious scared that it was going to end up setting the place on fire. Because we were so cautious, we never measured the temperature at anything above 48 degrees all winter. And that was the coldest winter we've experienced since we moved to Maine in 1980. One morning, when we got up and got into the main room, we noticed that something was a little bit different on the tree. The candles down at the bottom of the tree looked normal, but as we looked up, we noticed that a little further up the tree, it wasn't quite straight anymore, like it had melted some. And then we looked up at the top and found that the candles at the very top were just about completely doubled over. We have no idea how hot it got then, but luckily it wasn't hot enough to set the place on fire. But we still use these on our tree for the memories. Another ornament that we have on our tree, and we're taking the advantage of doing two ornaments because there's two of us. Another ornament commemorates our son's first Yule. And those of you in the church know who our son is. I don't know how well Fenn can zoom in on that.
I've got, Leigh, if you can tilt it a little flatter towards me.
Huh?
A little flatter towards me.
This way?
Yep.
This also echoes the last ornament that Reverend Dave shared last week. Who, with a long-desired baby, could possibly resist an elf outfit like that at Christmas? Something else from last week is a reminder that our church and First Church of Houlotn Congregational will be hosting a combined online Christmas Eve service this year. This will be available to watch on the UUHoulotn service channel on YouTube. It'll be available by 4 p.m. on Saturday, I don't even know what day of the week it is, the 24th of December at least, on New Year's Eve. And now, what we'd like to do is to give us a chance to ground and center and ring the bell that we don't have here. We'll use this as a plan B of the bells for our centering silence. The title of today's service is Welcoming a New Solar Year. The winter solstice marks the beginning of a new year of traveling around our sun, a new adventure. Thanks to the tilt of our axis, this also marks the shortest day and the longest night of the year. For the next 6 months, we will see the days get progressively longer and longer, and warmer, and the cycle will resume in accordance with all the ancient laws of physics. There we go. Now I know what page I'm on. We will begin this celebration by defining our sacred space in a Wiccan tradition, acknowledging the 5 elements and inviting God and Goddess to bless our endeavors. For ourselves, we usually start in the east, which is behind me. And we light the candle for the east. I'm going to stay facing this way just to make sure that I can still be heard here. Hail east, the powers of air. You who bring the springtime warmth, who bring the fresh air from the mountains and the trees for our enjoyment and use. They keep us alive. Thank you for joining us today, and stay through the right. Blessed be. Next, we're going to do the south. That is south, right? Yes. Just double checking to make sure. There we go. Powers of south. Powers of fire. We welcome you, the sun that bakes us in the summer, makes us sweat, but grows the crops that we can eat throughout the year. You who grace our fireplace and our hearth during the winter cold and keep us warm. You who are the energy that's flowing through our veins. We thank you for joining us and be with us through this rite. Blessed be. I'm going to pass this to Leigh. It's a little lazy.
And now for the west. Oops.
You can say anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna set that there though.
Okay.
The west, powers of water, both flowing and ice. You help us to flow around, push aside, or flow through obstacles. We learn perseverance and strength. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
And north. The powers of earth, steadfast underneath us, our home, our shelter. You grow our food. You are always with us. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Now, there we go.
Powers of earth, center and not earth. Powers of center and circumference, spirit
Spirit.
that is everlasting. Always here, never gone, always there, still never gone. It flows through us in all times and all places. And we ask that Spirit helps us to remember its influence on our lives. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
In addition to acknowledging the basic elements that we recognize, we acknowledge deity as a dual split energies between masculine and feminine, like all of them in nature. And so we recognize the masculine as the God. Infant God, newly born at the beginning of this solar year, we greet you with great anticipation and joy, expecting the warmth of the summer the power to grow the crops and help us to defeat all of the problems and obstacles, challenges that we face in our lives. Welcome and blessed be.
Blessed crone, embodiment of the darkness of winter, help us to take time to listen carefully and contemplate the thoughts that surface. Help us to embrace ideas that teach and encourage, and to act in accordance with the wisdom we gain. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Rotate.
Stand just a little to one side. Today, our years are divided into months and quarters or seasons. There was a time when months were determined by the moon, not kings. Positions of the sun defined quarter points at solstice and equinoxes. I suspect that in those days, a higher percentage of the population was much more aware of these occurrences, and that this awareness figured more in their daily decision-making than it does today. Spring, summer, and autumn were largely spent preparing for winter. Stores were put by and shelters secured from cold and wind. When winter arrived, time not spent on everyday chores was devoted to the making and mending of tools and clothing. Younger folks were taught these tasks, as well as the use of the tools they would be using later on. Songs and stories were learned or crafted anew as instruction, as well as entertainment. The understanding of how often evokes the question, why? Why does the moon change, and so regularly? Why does the sun change its position in different seasons? Why are the dark nights of winter so long? Every culture on Earth has come up with its own myths to explain natural phenomena. Stories of fantastic beings fired the imagination, admonished those who shirked responsibilities, and reassured those who did what was necessary for whatever might happen. They also found rest and comfort in these stories when they were tired or beset with adversity. Stories of divine beings were many and varied. Of course, they all revolved around the familiar parent-child relationships. The deities were respected, older, and wiser. They guided the people through the seasons. The god or gods were father figures and were concerned with hunting, building, and other skills, focusing on growing strong in the spring, working hard in summer and autumn, and waning in the winter. Goddess or goddesses focused on the lives of women, young girls learning basic helpful tasks, growing to become mothers who could cook and also heal with some of their herbs, and who became over time the wise old women who would pass the knowledge along to other generations. In time, the faces of a god became two, one for each half of the solar year between the solstices. The faces of the goddess became three, one for the springtime of youth, one for the summer of motherhood and autumn harvest, and one for the dark wisdom of winter. People would seek rest, healing, and assurance from the crone throughout the dark winter, sometimes referring to her as the darkness itself. Think of the lyrics of this hymn, Dark of Winter, as a prayer to the goddess. Dark of winter, soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will, ease my mind profoundly. And then my soul will sing a song, a blessed song of love eternal. Gentle darkness, soft and still, bring your quiet to me. Darkness, soothe my weary eyes, that I may see more clearly. When my heart with sorrow cries, comfort and caress me. And then my soul will hear a voice, a still, small voice of love eternal. Darkness, when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me. Now we will hear the melody that carries these words.
Beautifully done. Thank you, Dale and Leigh. For generations, people have looked toward the coming year in anticipation of good times. They were already eager to experience the longer days and the warming temperatures, planting their seeds for future growth and bounty of the year. In previous years, we held the Winter Solstice service altogether in person, and attendees would light a candle to represent their dreams, desires, wishes, and/or intentions for the coming year. Thanks to the health issues related to COVID-19, we must do this in a service posted online instead. We will light candles for general categories of intention here on the altar. But it will be up to you to light a candle that is of intent for yourself. This is where your candle would come in. Just as we normally have candles of joy and concern, this will be a place where you can light your own candle of joy and concern. We suggest that you pause the video if you need to light the candle or candles for your joy, your concern, your blessings, and intentions for the coming year. And then don't forget to start it up again. I'm going to light a candle that's close to me just because it's handy. This is going to be a candle of, I'm gonna say stewardship, because I need to take more careful care of the resources we have, not just of the earth, but of our own personal resources as well. It's time that I grow up and quit being a kid. So my intent is to focus on being a good steward of our household. Leigh?
Okay, I'm going to come around this way. This is going to light. I'm going to light this for, I don't know what list you have in.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get this to light. Let's see. I'll tip it in the middle.
Turn it toward the
There we
light.
Maybe not. Let's try one more time. The wick is pretty short. There we go. And will it go? I think it will. It's a little light. I don't know what you have on your list.
You don't have to.
Yeah, that's okay. Perseverance. I need to push myself more to get more done, and persevere when things get tough. So that's what I'm going to be working on for this year.
Is there anyone else here who would like to light a candle for themselves for the year before we do the general candles for general categories?
I'm gonna stay back behind the camera. If you do the honors of picking one out of the light, I got.
Oh, I was going to say I'll put my mask back
Just
on.
tell me which one. I'll light it for you.
The little one with the Christmas trees.
Okay.
Seeing how this is a ceremony of changing over years and seasons, this year I'll be transitioning from being a son to being a husband. So I'll be starting that new phase of my life.
All right.
So, to growing up as well.
That's never fun. And I don't know if it's ever done either.
Okay. If you want to read your ones,
Okay.
yeah, just keep them. I was going to say I could do the lighting and while you do the...
Oh, okay. You choose the candle, and this will be our first general candle of a category or intention. This one will be for health, for maintaining good health, for recovering health, and this is for it could be for yourself, it could be for a loved one, for a distant person you know, it could be for the earth. Seeking love and our health and increased energy, recovery from accidents or illness, avoidance or recovery from COVID-19, etc. Any of those or something similar could be included in this category. Next category we'd written out and planned was prosperity. recovery from the economy, whether it be your own personal home economy, the state economy, the national economy, or even the world economy. What is your wish? What is your intention to try to help affect change here in the world? Oh, something else that's in part of that I forgot to mention was meaningful employment. Not just being a cog on the wheel. And equitable distribution of wealth. These are things that prosperity can bring. Love. Love of a husband and wife. Spouses between same-sex or different-sex marriages. Continuing love, new love. Renewed love is another possibility. And this could also be the love in a family, platonic love, altruistic love, anything along those lines. This candle is for you. And stewardship, which is actually what inspired me to say it. Stewardship of our own resources, those of the earth and all of its inhabitants, of the water, of the air. It's time that we take care of what we have and be thankful for that, instead of trying to be greedy and taking everything from someone else. Again, please feel that you can pause the video long enough to light your own candle to be part of this altar. We recommend that you keep the candle in a place where you can see it and light it periodically to help remember and renew your intent as expressed here. You're going to tell what you're lighting these for, Leigh?
These are for anything we may have forgotten.
Well, I'm sure there are plenty. You might call this a silent candle for those who do not wish to speak up right now or can't because they're not here. There's another one right close to you.
Huh?
Right next to you there. I think it went out on us.
No, I think we didn't light it.
Oh, okay.
And there's one more one here.
Oh, yeah.
And this-
For the rest of you in our congregation or members who are thinking someday you might do a lay-led service, go ahead and go for it. You make a mistake, so what? It's,
It's the way it is.
yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. And now with light and warmth coming into our lives, we welcome with anticipation this coming year. So mote it be.
So would it be.
And now we'll be extinguishing the candles on our altar while thanking each one for their blessings. Let's do the small ones first and then the God and Goddess after. I don't know how well that's going to work on voters. We'll see.
Oh, well, we'll find out. Maybe not. I thought it was up.
We may have to
Yeah, I
pick
think
it up and blow it up.
Well, the other one might go down further. This one is.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Yes, you may.
Some of them are stunning.
The camera can't see that
You
there's
can't
still
go
a little
open.
bit.
Yeah.
That's cheating.
I know.
This was my candle, personal stewardship.
Go ahead.
Thank you for being here. Keep me true. This was someone's silent candle.
Go ahead.
Thank you for being here. And silent, but just as powerful.
This was mine, the first appearance.
Another silent, powerful. Okay. The goddess was lit more recently than the god, so it should be the next one to say goodbye.
Blessed crone, stay with us throughout this season, bringing us wisdom and joy and contentment. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Okay.
Oh, you have one.
I've got one. Gracious God, thank you for being here with us and for growing with us and for us for the coming year. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
He doesn't want to go either. Let's see, looks like we are ready to do the quarter candles. Spirit is going to stay.
Mhm.
So, I'm going to start with north.
North. The earth is always here for us. May we always be here for the earth. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Water. May we never be without it. So mote it be.
So mote it be. I was going to say, water, don't be too much either.
Yeah.
Same thing can be said for fire, the south. We thank you for your presence in our lives. Just don't overdo it. And air, people too often take you for granted. And that's why some of us still have problems with breathing. I believe it appropriate to leave the spirit candle lit, since the spirit is with us at all times, and to leave the Advent candles lit as well between now and Christmas. Is it time to extinguish the chalice? Almost. Okay, the circle is open but unbroken. May the peace of the God and Goddess go in our hearts. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again in person.
Someday.
That brings us to to a close to our time together. We'll extinguish the chalice in gratitude and joy that we will yet meet again. Thank you for joining us at our UUHoulotn Sunday service. Like and subscribe on our UUHoulotn service YouTube channel. That's not easy to say without practicing it. Practice kindness. Keep your attitude positive. Look out for those who are having a difficult time. Have a good week, everyone. We'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day.
Ready?